Ladies and gentlemen, to get us started tonight, please welcome to the stage, Rachel Manson. She touched herself. I called her on the phone and she touched herself. I lost myself to sleep. At this rate, I'll be heading for.
Hello, everyone! Oh my God, welcome to the Royal! Oh, fuck yeah! You excited to see your headliner, Jared Freid, is in the building? Oh, what a delight! What a sexy crowd, a late night crowd. Hello, hey, what's up? Hey, hello, hey, what's up? Hey, hello, hey, what's up? It is me, Rachel. Hell yeah. I always look like I just escaped a cult. Let's get into this, shall we? Doesn't matter what I wear. Try dressing up, try dressing down. Always looks like I just burst from a forest going, "Where's Daddy, husband leader?" That's the vibe. My last name's Manson, too. That's on my passport, and it's spelled the same. It's my birthright to just follow a bearded man into the desert and not ask follow-up questions. Oh, it feels so good to be here with you guys. It feels so good to be back in a theater with people in it. All of you are facing me, I'm facing you. It feels so good to be back. I mean, it doesn't feel safe. I can taste the air, but it feels good. It's nice. I feel very lucky that I get to do this as my job. I feel so incredibly lucky. I do this at night, and then during the day, I have a bit of a weird job. I write made-for-TV Hallmark movies. Did anyone hear an entire row of white women lose their fucking shit? Yeah. For everyone else, you don't know how to talk to your adult parents and they got cable, you need something on in the background, and that's where I come in. You're welcome. I've seen, for this job, and for myself, I've seen every Hallmark movie ever made. I've seen all of them. I've seen Dear Santa, I've seen A Christmas Kiss, I've seen October's Kiss, I've seen Growing the Big One. I thought it was gonna be porn too, it's not. It's about pumpkins. White people are a nightmare. For those of you who have never seen a made-for-TV Hallmark movie, you're not familiar with the Hallmark cinematic universe, congratulations, you're very cultured, but like, here's every Hallmark movie ever, so you never have to watch one. A busy businesswoman who's so busy with business falls in love with a quirky donut shop baker. And guys, they hate each other at first. They hate each other. They don't see eye to eye one bit, no they do not. But they gotta get together to save the mill from the factory closing during the pumpkin parade on Christmas for Jesus. And it's all filmed in the same gazebo in Hamilton, Ontario. Google the gazebo. It's in 8 of them and no one's tried to hide it yet. I think it's one PA's job to be like, okay, moving the wreath to the other side and now we're in Vermont. Like, it's so exhausting. And I'm Jewish. I don't know what you people do. I'm guessing. I go into J. Crew and go wasp hunting and take little notes. I'm like a Jewish Jane Goodall being like, okay, the mothers compliment their daughters. Interesting. Are there any Jews in the audience? Yeah, don't identify yourselves. What are you doing? Okay, you've no reason to trust me. You've no idea what I'm asking. Anytime somebody says, are there any Jews in the audience, you find a blonde person, you walk with them to safety. It's crazy out there. No, I am Jewish. You could tell because I look like a menorah. Works better if I'm naked. Yeah, it's crazy. I didn't know a lot of Jewish stuff was like weird until I went outside the community. Like during the pandemic, I sat in on my friend's WASP, like Anglican family Zoom call which I didn't know is very different than a Jewish family Zoom call. Those are two different events. I sat in with her family and they were like, all right, cousins, who brought on a new hobby? Debbie, how's that puzzle? My family, literally the minute the camera goes on, they're like, okay, we just discovered that your dead grandfather had a secret dead brother who is also dead. Now, I am uploading a blueprint of the cemetery. We are all going on Sunday to put rocks on the grave. I don't know what any of my cousins do for a living. Their family is like, who picked up like a fun instrument? And mine are like, how can I bring up Chernobyl even though nobody asked me? It's nuts. I'm a bisexual, I'm a bisexual lass. People get a little uncomfortable when they hear the word bisexual. I get uncomfortable when I hear the word bisexual. I don't like the word. I don't like that it has the word sexual in it. It's very uncomfortable. I feel like a Republican every time I say bisexual. I'm like, not in front of kids, come on. It's weird because like, we're the B in LGBT. We're in the OG4, but it feels like they just kind of put us in there to finish the rhyme. You know what I mean? They just had to fill that space out, because otherwise it just sounds like a drunk girl ordering at a bar, like, can I get an LGT, please? An LGT. Thank you. I hope they play timber, you know? Some misconceptions about bisexuality, like, I don't know, like, people assume that bi women are just kind of doing it for male attention and are probably gonna end up with a guy. People assume that bi men are just gay and don't want to talk about it yet. Now, both of those things assume that men are the real creme de la creme in terms of options. The real piece de resistance when it comes to choosing a mate. Mwah, mwah, mwah. But I'm here to tell you, fellas, men are not the better option. Men are the easier option. Have you ever tried to fuck a straight man? Any one of you could go home tonight and fuck a straight man. It is the easiest thing. Once you got the cheat code, oh my God, I'll tell you what. One time, I fucked a male model. Yeah. And I'm not downplaying like I'm cute, but I'm also a gothic scarecrow. How did this happen, you ask? And I'll tell you. I said two things to this guy. I said two things to him. I said, you know, I've never actually seen Breaking Bad. Should I? That's it! That's all I said to him! Women are so much harder to date because they're listening. It's so much harder. They're so pretty. They're so smart. Every time I try to hit on a woman, I feel like a 13-year-old boy hiding my boner, like, we both have hands. That's something. Do you think we get to keep them when we die? Like, I don't know what to say to them. It's so scary. I also didn't have the word bisexual for a really long time. I grew up in like the 90s and the early 2000s, and the only example of bisexuality I had was, and some of you are ahead of me already, A Shot at Love with Tila Tequila. Yeah! She's a Nazi now, we gotta be careful. I'm dead serious. You would not think they would let her in that club, and she is their new, like, poster child. It's fucked. Yeah. And even that show was about bisexuality, and she's like, I like men and women, but I have to choose one. It can't be both, and the right choice is man. And that was the whole show. But it represents something I really love, which is, like, that era of reality dating shows was the MTV reality dating shows from like 2004 were unbelievable. That was way before we knew we wanted to see hot people fuck. This was no Love Island situation. These were sweaty gremlin people they found in the back of a Hollister doing shots of cologne and cocaine by themselves. No one had pants that fit. No one. What I love, I I watched it a lot, all these shows like a lot growing up as a kid, and I was a very anxious child. And what I really liked about these shows was that they started with a narrator who described everything you were about to see before you saw it. And it was like, 1 bus, 5 daters. They're on the bus. All competing for a cash prize of $48. Will they move on or will they be nexted? Will they get a date or will they get dumped? Will they find love or will they participate in the January 6th insurrection? Goes on for a while. All the contestants were terrible. All of them were awful. My favorite was like it was a bus dating show. It was called Next. I heard 4 of you say it before I even finished the fucking word. Hell yeah. Way to advertise that you also can't read. Next was crazy. Next was a bus dating show where they put a bunch of sweaty weirdos on a bus and made them walk out one by one to either be yes or nexted. I'm now realizing this also has Nazi undertones. We're just gonna hop right past it. I loved the contestants. All the men were like, hey, I'm RL. I'm 19 years old. RL stands for real long. Ha ha, I live in a storage unit. That was his best foot forward. You wanted the women to be better, but they were not better. All the women were like, hey, I'm Becky. I'm 22 years old, I've pooped in a box, and one time I barfed on a synagogue, and it was investigated as a hate crime. Ooh. Well, I made my boyfriend watch that entire show over the pandemic. It was a nightmare. I do have a boyfriend. I'm not an overachiever. I never said I was. Bit of a waste of potential, I gotta say. I mean, he's a bottom, so it works, but I was just lucky to draw. Slutty audience. Ooh. I love it. I'll tell you, we're living with a man, like, for a long period of time. I've now come to realize, like, I'm so jealous of you guys. I'm so jealous of men and their low maintenance bodies. It's unbelievable. My boyfriend for dinner tonight ate 3 family-sized tubes of Pringles for dinner. He's just walking around tonight like he owns the planet. I wore the wrong underwear last week and I had to seek medical attention. I had to go to the doctor. How fucked is that? And ladies, we understand, going to the doctor's not fun because we only get asked 2 questions at the doctor. We could have a lacerated limb and all they would start the conversation with is 1, are you pregnant? No, I'm not pregnant. You sure you're not pregnant? Sure you didn't accidentally get pregnant, then forget? Sure you didn't slip on a banana peel, go whoopsie-daisy, fall on a penis, get pregnant that way? Sure you didn't get pregnant at your 15th birthday pool party because someone told you it could swim through water? You're sure you're not pregnant? Well, now I don't know. You should check. They checked, I'm not pregnant. Second question they asked me, do you have an STI? Which I don't think that's the medical term anymore. I think now it's called like dumpster slut disease or something. Proper terminology for that. They checked both those boxes, went through that, and my doctor went, well, Rach, I think we're gonna send you to a specialist. I was like, really? Is that necessary? He's like, to be perfectly honest, beyond that, the vagina is still pretty much a mystery. What? It shouldn't be, man. We made a flashlight you can fuck. This can't be witchcraft anymore. This can't be a ball of yarn no one wants to deal with. I'll tell you, here's an actual fact. We recently discovered, not me, I wasn't there, but like, science recently discovered that Viagra may help treat Alzheimer's. Very cool. Do you know what that means? They're still working on Viagra. There is a team of scientists hard at work, just puttering away at a 1980s dick pill, really making sure that recipe sparkles for ya. We went through a global pandemic, and all the doctors were like, all right, all hands on deck, what about these guys? No, 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 do not bother them. They are working on Viagra. Penises must be hard for the end of days. Where will we hang our hats? I felt some of the men completely withdraw from me in that moment. They were like, I'd like to leave. I'm not having any fun anymore. I'll tell you this, I was not always the provocative vixen you see before you today. Yeah, you're welcome. I had my first kiss at summer camp, as so many Jews do. And summer camp is a wild situation. They literally take us at our most hormonal, horny age and ship us off to an island to like repopulate the ones we've lost. You can laugh, they're not here. If we had hell, I'd be in there. But I had my first kiss at camp, and I proceeded, this is 100% real, to vomit on him out of social anxiety. And all over my Hillary Duff bedsheets, which is for sure the saddest part of that whole story. How sad is that? How fucking depressing is that? I had cartoon Lizzie McGuire and real life Hillary Duff looking up at me being like, how are you fucking this up? We taught you how to buy a bra, what are you doing? But as the years went on, I grew into my body a little bit better, a little less like Slender Man vibes, and still there. And when I turned 16, I was allowed to participate in something called Camp Family Feud, where everyone gets to vote on very judgmental categories. That year, my sister got voted hottest female in camp. But I got voted third most improved. Are you guys ready for your headliner? You guys are so much fun. I am so excited to bring up the unbelievable headliner. You know him from the UF podcast. You know him from a million other things. He is unbelievable. You are in for such a treat. Give it up for Jared Freid!